The final race in the Jaguar I Pace E-Trophy is underway. Pretty even start. Jimenez maybe getting a decent getaway, but Evans comes across, covers the inside line, holds on to second position for the time being. Is Foster going to classic send it? Indeed he is. Right around the outside, and he just runs out of grip, but he's going to get Jimenez. But Jimenez is going to put him straight into the barriers. Not cool from Jimenez, and Foster drops 2 positions. Sergio Jimenez once again showing his ruthless driving streak, and that puts Foster back in the pack. Alex Bowers up into 4th place, Aoki up into 5th position, but that was very, very tight down in the first corner. Jimenez getting into the back of Evans as well, I think, as they came into turn 2. That means that Bueno's lead is 1.2 seconds up at the front.
Nick is not going to be happy with that at all. He and Sergio had certainly traded blows earlier on whilst here in Berlin, and he is going to be fuming. I think the big winner in all of that is Sergio Jimenez, because I think it's fair to say that Alex isn't going to be causing him too much stress in his rear view mirrors, which means he can actually focus on staying right behind Simon Evans, as we can see now.
Here they come into 15. Bueno's lead 1.4 seconds now. Second place is Evans, third is Jimenez. If it finishes like this, Evans wins the championship. If Jimenez overtakes Evans for second position, Jimenez wins the championship for the second time. So this is just the 2 cars we're going to be looking at for the next 25 minutes or so.
The 3 sectors in the circuit. So really there isn't much to actually separate them when you're actually looking at overall pace, but certainly race pace has fallen Simon's way. In fact, Sergio Jimenez actually made a mistake in qualifying quite early on in the session as well, causing a puncture to the front. The mechanics went off, and of course the rules say that you can replace, they get 1 new set of tyres per race weekend, or in this case per day. Because that was a brand new tyre that was now punctured, the mechanics went off and actually chose the best tyre from yesterday. That has now been put on the rear of the car and the rear front tyres for extra grip. Oh, attack mode already being taken by Nick Foster there.
Yeah, well, he's got to do something to try and get in front of Seguers and Aoki, but yeah, the tyres.
Sorry, yes. And so, although this isn't going to be a huge disadvantage for Sergio Jimenez when it comes to overall pace, that's just yet another thing that he needs to think about that is not working in his favour.
Indeed, 22 minutes plus a lap to go. Bueno leading 1.4 seconds ahead of Evans. As you say though, yesterday Evans really strong in the race pace. In fact, over the last couple of weeks, whatever it is we've been here.
It's a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Hawkins is trying to pass Förster in the 2 VIP cars coming up the backstretch. Förster, I think, has done an attack mode. Yes, he has. And there defending is the 13 of Fahad Al-Ghassabi. And Forster is trying to get to the outside, and Hawkins is trying to take advantage of that. Paul Spooner out of the race by the looks of things. So that's a big hit to his Pro-Am hopes. And
I'm not sure we saw what happened.
I think he got involved in an incident at the first turn, I believe. So we'll see what happens there. Al-Ghassabi is under pressure from Sven Förster. Then right behind is Hawkins, who had good pace yesterday, closed in on the drivers in front, but didn't get a great start. So that kind of compromised them for the rest of the race. There come the top 3, 4. 5 spread out quite nicely. Forster coming through now to move up into 5th position ahead of Takuma Aoki. And into attack mode now goes Sergio Jimenez then. So he's going to come out, he's going to come out pretty close to Nick Foster, but not quite close enough. Foster, one of the many drivers of the World Endurance Championship at Spa tomorrow. Here's a look at the replay then. Foster did his classic send it round the outside. Jimenez did his classic eat some barrier.
Yeah, he did. I wouldn't be surprised if something else happens between these two a little bit later. Obviously, Nick currently sitting fairly close enough to Sergio Jimenez, and he'll be upset. He'll think that that is just appropriate driving. And I think it's fair to say that really it isn't appropriate driving. You don't drive people into the barriers on purpose. You should always endeavour to leave enough space.
Yeah, not seemingly any repercussions though for Jimenez for doing it over the last couple of rounds, so I guess he thinks he can. He's in 4th place at the moment. We just saw at the back the contact with Paul Spooner, and I think it was Sven Förster at turn 1 that gave Spooner the damage that knocked him out of the race. Bueno still leading 1.2 seconds ahead of Evans, 2.6 seconds ahead of Jimenez, who is in attack mode now, but he had to get past Alice Powell, so that cost him a little bit of time. Evans maybe has the chance to take attack mode now. He's got a big gap in his rear view mirror. He'll see that big gap. Will he fancy sort of defending off Jimenez's attempt this time around? Yes.
I was actually just about to say, historically we have seen Simon wait to take his attack mode. Oh my goodness. Later in the race. And I was totally wrong, because he is taking it now and staying ahead of Sergio Jimenez, which will make him very happy.
Unless Jimenez fancies a bit of a look. He's only got 10 seconds of attack mode remaining, but really fancy a send down into turn 15. 19 minutes plus 1 lap to go. And I don't think he's that close as they come onto the brakes into the right-hander. So Evans just about getting away with it by taking his attack mode there. Alice Powell having a little look at Nick Foster in the lap over 4th and 5th positions. But Bueno still leading 2.6 seconds clear, but Evans is in attack mode. There goes Powell on attack mode to the inside of Foster. Foster uses his outside line as much as he loves it. He can't go around the outside of Powell with more power this time, for the time being. So Powell back up into 5th place.
And you can see the damage on the outside of his car there, the mirror hanging off. You see a consequence of the coming together with the wall on the exit of turn 1 at the start.
There's a bit of action as Takuma Aoki and Gregory Seguers do battle. Seguers trying to get around the outside of Aoki, but not able to manage it on that run down into 1 and 2.
Takuma Aoki has really raised his game. The longer we've been here racing on this track, he's finding pace and consistency.
It certainly is. To the brakes into turn 7. Side by side further back as to the outside goes Adalberto Baptista, and he now activates attack mode, or does he miss it? I think he misses it. So that's frustrating for Adalberto. Gives a little nudge to Aoki in all of that. Then Al-Ghassabi is in 9th position in the Saudi racing car, but here's Evans now out of attack mode, right up behind Cacabueno. I think he's overall gained during that attack mode, because he was 1.4 seconds back when he did his attack mode. The gap's now down to 0.9, so he has net gain with that attack mode, and he'll move into the lead when Bueno activates his attack mode, but we'll see whether Evans can just hold him up a little bit.
This is normally the point at which the race starts falling Simon's way. He's breathing down Cacabueno's neck. Caca is barreling into that attack mode zone, goes in too fast and makes a mistake, but let's see if he's learned his lesson by now. Looking down at the battle in the Pro-Am category, Adalberto Baptista from Team Brazil again putting in another really solid performance. It was looking like this in yesterday's race as well, and Farhad Al-Ghassabi, the championship winner in that class, took a long time for him to actually make it past. But yeah, let's hope that Adalberto can hold him off for a bit longer.
Forward here with Simon Evans in 2nd place, and he's dropped Jimenez. 3.2 seconds is the gap between them. They've both used an attack mode, but Evans could go for another attack mode and still come out in front of Jimenez. So Evans really bossing this at the moment. And comes out onto the back straight. 3 seconds his advantage over Jimenez. When you think of the first races here in Berlin and how close the field was and how difficult it was for Evans to get ahead of Jimenez, the Brazilian is going to be very disappointed. 2nd place in the last 3 races. He's going to be 3rd here today. And it means that Simon Evans will have had a podium in every race this season. Down towards the hairpin. excited, try and win the race with, in order to win the championship. Across the line comes Bueno onto the final lap. Evans is looking a bit feisty, isn't he? Part of me wants to say, just don't do it, Simon. Do the double ride at 3 and 4. Out onto the back straight now. He's really close to the back of Bueno. Really impressive pace this from Simon Evans. There is the Kiwi. He's a bit too far back. Happily into turn 7. Doesn't need to be getting up and involved with the Brazilian racer. Is Bueno slowing down a little? No, not really. It's not as though he's dropping his pace, Bueno, to back Evans up. Evans is just flying. Here they come down towards the hairpin. I say that actually. The last lap, Bueno was 1.9 seconds slower than Jimenez. So maybe that last lap was a little bit of playing around from Bueno to try and help out his teammate, but Jimenez has no response. Up to the final corner, into the left-hander. It's going to be only a second win of the season for Bueno, but it is the Jaguar I Pace E-Trophy crown for Simon Evans. Across the line in second place, Evans is the champion. Third for Jimenez, fourth for Powell, fifth for Foster. And Simon Evans there won the first ever Jaguar I Pace E-Trophy race in Diriyah in Saudi Arabia in 2018, sorry. And now he has won the